Hi there, glad you joined me today. I'm Betty, and I want to share with you today about how not to seem so old. Tip number 1, maybe the most important, is your posture. When we sit, everything we do, we need to have an upright, uplifted posture. Now, there's a couple of tips, a couple of tricks I can give you about that. Some of these I got from when I was teaching voice lessons, but it works for this too, that when you're walking, one trick that I found out is that if you keep your hips a little bit ahead of your shoulders, like I think of it this way, I want my hips to arrive a little before my shoulders do. So I just kind of walk along like that. That keeps your shoulders back. And also it helps you to have your head in the right position so it's not way forward and you have a hump on the back, but it helps you to have a good posture. So you could think of it that way. Another trick, when you're standing still, and if you think your posture is starting to slump a little bit, go up on your tiptoes. If you do that, it always straightens up your posture, and then go back down again without changing the rest of your posture, and you'll look great. So walk with your head up and your shoulders back, like Jordan Peterson says. Walk straight up, stand straight up, and you won't seem nearly so old. Number 2, another suggestion, pay a little more attention to your facial expression. Sometimes I think we look sad or mad or distracted when we really don't feel that way. Did you know that you can smile just with your eyes? And of course, you can use your mouth to smile too. So get a pleasant expression, an interested expression, like you're awake and alive and interested in what's going on. So that's going to help you seem not so old. Number 3 would be your clothing. Now, I'm not talking about dressing to try to look young. I think sometimes people go overboard on that and it really looks bad. And sometimes I even ask my daughter when we're looking at clothes, I said, if you think something's really trying too hard, just let me know, okay? And it is good to have somebody around sometimes that can give you their opinion on that. But don't dress to try to look young. An older person trying to dress young, it actually just makes you look older, like an old person that doesn't want to be old. And that doesn't work. But your clothing should fit properly. Not too tight, not too loose. Don't just wear baggy stuff all over, but have things that are fitted right to the type of body that you have. And also with your clothing, try to go for styles that are timeless. Styles that don't say young, they don't say old. Use colors that light up your face, because your face looking kind of bland and dull doesn't help you to look alive. So check these colors out next to your face, look in a mirror and see what it does. If it lights your face up, then that's a good color. But dress appropriately, but not like old people stuff. I mean, sometimes I will see things in the store and I'll look at that and say, that's what a woman my age would supposed to wear, right? So I don't get it, because I don't want to label myself as, well, yeah, she's old, she wears old lady clothes. Your clothing should be an expression of yourself. It should be an expression of what you are on the inside, and wear that so that you can express it on your outside. People can't see what you are on the inside. Sure, when you talk, when you get to know somebody, they'll find out what you're like. But if you can express some of that, your clothing can be a type of artwork. Just try to let your clothing illustrate the type of person that you are on the inside. So number 4 is your attitude. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work to be optimistic, but anybody can be optimistic. Anybody can think of a positive side of something, but the attitude problem that's really tempting when you get to be older is to start comparing everything now to the good old days, right? Which Somehow I think that if we could actually go back and visit those days, they weren't as good as we think they were. But the good old days. And the problem is that when you go talking about, oh, I remember back in the day when, and in a negative sense, comparing that now is just not as good as it was back then, it makes you seem just plain old. And people will think, well, why does that person live like that? Why do they live in the past? Why can't they enjoy what is now? So don't live in the past. Don't compare everything to when everything was so much better. Now, remembering when the comparison ends up being a positive thing, that's fine. Like, I remember when we didn't have this, but now we do. And it's a positive thing. But comparing these terrible times we're in now to the good old days way back when, that is just going to make you seem completely old. So don't do it. Now, number 5, try hard not to talk about all of your aches and your pains and your medical problems and how many medications you're taking for this and that and the other thing and my high blood pressure and my this and my that. Oh, come on. Talk to your doctor about that. He really wants to hear it, or she really wants to hear it, and I don't think really anybody else wants to hear all that. So don't talk to everybody about my arthritis and show them how big your knuckles are. I don't know. Nobody really wants to hear about that. It just makes you seem so old. Okay, now number 6, and that is stay informed about technology. Don't think that technology is just for younger people. Like, obviously, I'm using a little bit of technology here to be able to make this video, but that's not all there is. Technology is a whole lot more than just social media. Now, I'm not really into social media, I know. I should be doing more things on Facebook, I don't know, Instagram, all that. If you don't like social media, that's fine. Or publish something here and there if you want to. But technology has so much more. Technology will give you a way to express yourself. It'll give you a way to be creative. Artificial intelligence, AI, dig into it. Find out what you can do. You can generate images. You can generate video. You can fix up pictures. If you have photos that aren't how you want them to be, or if you want to get artistic with them, you can do so much. AI is great. Just so many ways you can use technology to make your life easier. Like, okay, I might be a little different from some people that I don't really like paper that much. I mean, paper itself, that's okay, but I don't like having paper with everything written on it, typed on it, printed on it. But there's so much you can do without paper. You've got your calendars, you can write things down so it doesn't have to be in a physical book. If you're trying to figure things out, like your finances, your budget, different things, you can use Excel worksheets and they'll calculate everything so you don't have to be adding up the numbers and taking care of that. There is so much room to be creative with technology. Learn how to use applications like, well, maybe Photoshop. It can be a little bit complicated, or ones like it, but there are other ways to do things. If you don't want to be quite so detailed on what you're working with, use Canva. Canva is wonderful. They've got all these templates, all of these forms that you can use to put things together. And it seems like no matter what you want to create, you can do that on Canva. You can make business cards and posters and memos and messages and just everything. I use it a lot myself. I use it for the thumbnails for my videos. I've used it to design some logos for people. And you can just be so artistic. And it's not hard to do. And it's not expensive. So there's just so much you can do on technology. Make use of that. And also, if you understand some stuff about technology, about the things you choose to understand, it doesn't have to be everything, but that will also help you to be able to engage with people when they're talking about things like that, be actually able to contribute something to a conversation about stuff like that. Now, another tip. Number 7, has to do with how you walk. Of course, with that good posture that we talked about already, but put a little spring in your step. Walk briskly if you can, and just walk. You'll be surprised at how just a brisk walk will lift your spirits, will lift your attitude, and just change the way that you present yourself. People that walk a lot, they stay young. And also, walking has great benefits for your health. It will extend your life, your healthy life. If you walk, you get your blood circulating, and all of it helps your attitude, it helps your demeanor, it helps your expression, because when your blood's circulating and you're feeling good and the weather's nice and you're out there walking, you get home and maybe you're a little bit tired, but your attitude is lifted and you won't seem quite so old. Tip number 8 would be spend time with different age groups, people of all ages. Spending time with different age groups is going to help you to be a more interesting person, and also will help you to be able to relate to people of different ages. It's just so easy to look for people that are just like you are, or the same age group that you are, and adapt to that. And one danger in that is that if they have attitudes and things that we've already talked about on the list that are making them seem old, and you're just going to soak that in and take on some of that. You don't want that. If you're going to be with people your own age, be a good influence, be lively, be alive. But you need to spend some time with younger people. Spend time with children, play. Spend time with youth, discuss things, debate things even. Spend time with young adults and see what their concerns are, see what their worries are, see what their joys are, and talk to them. Or, even more importantly, listen to them. Be a good listener. I think one problem that some of us have with our age is that we talk too much. Now, I'm pretty introverted myself, but sometimes even I can talk way more than I need to when I'm with somebody, and really what I need to do is think about the right kind of question that I can ask that person to help them open up and share something about themselves. Because a big thing that makes us seem old is that we don't understand where people are coming from in other age groups. Then we can relate to them, and that just will make us seem a lot less old. So now we come to tip number 9, and that is to be a lifelong learner. Now, we've already talked about technology, but it's more than just that. Sure, learn technology, make that a part of your life, but also take up some things that are interesting to you. Learn some new skills, or study something if you want to study anthropology or zoology or something like that. And I'm not talking about going to school, but you can get books, you can get ebooks, you can look things up online. One way that you can find something interesting is the next time you kind of wonder about something, or you can't answer somebody's question about something, look it up and then take it a step further. And you might find something that you're really interested in. Build your life, research things, learn something new, learn a skill, learn a craft, learn how to do woodworking or anything, but get a new skill. One great skill would be learn a language and then travel with it. Learn French, learn German, learn Italian. We've got people in our house here that are learning all these different languages. They go on Duolingo. Doesn't cost them anything, and they're getting pretty good. But learn something. Take up an instrument. I don't know if you already play a musical instrument. If you do, it's a whole lot easier to learn another one. You can express the way you feel with your music. It can relax you. It can energize you. There's so many ways that you can stretch yourself and learn something. And being a lifelong learner is having an attitude that learning isn't just for young people. Learning is for everybody. Learn things and guard your brain and keep it sharp. We don't want to have those problems later on when we start to forget everything. Learn things, and you won't seem quite so old. Now we come to our number 10 tip. This one comes from the Bible. In Psalm 92, I'll just paraphrase it for you, but it talks about those who are planted in the temple and established in the temple of the Lord. And it says that they are like trees that when they are old, that they will still be very green and luxuriant. Now, to me, being planted in the temple, it's not a religious thing at all, because the temple really is a gathering of believers. And if you are a believer, spend time with other believers. If you are planted in a situation where you're relating to people and sharing and building each other up, then we have a promise that says that even when you're getting old, you'll be very green. And who doesn't want to be green like a green plant growing? Because a plant that turns brown is dying, and we are full of life. If you don't want to seem quite so old, we've got a lot of tips here for you, and I hope one or two of them will help you out a bit. Our life is good, and if your life has not been good, it's never too late to thrive. Thanks for being with me. Till next time.